Smash those likes, baby. Let's get it. Come on. Come on. Tap those likes. Bitcoin's crashing, baby. We're going to zero. I'm Blockchain Crusader, Crusader 3's blockchains every single day, guys, and we are here live on a Monday on this biggest liquidation event ever in the crypto space all this year long. So, is Bitcoin going to zero? Are the altcoins going to zero? Is it all over? Is the bull market a wrap? Is it bear market time? That's what everyone wants to know. That's what everyone wants to know. So we're here to answer those questions right in here, right now. I have already told you guys, I spent this entire morning creating the game plan for what is to come here in the next week or so. This last week here of September is hyper critical to let us know exactly with full confirmation of whether we're going higher or not, right? I, as biased, still do believe we're going to go higher. We're still holding some critical support zones. But that being said, if those critical supports are broken here in the next week as we enter October, then the game changes, right? And this is what we're here to discuss. So make sure you guys are dropping your altcoins into the chat if you guys want this to be, if you want your altcoin to be covered. Where is it going? Is it going to zero? Is it going back to the moon? I have been warning people that the top is closer than people think, right? And could this be the top? There's an argument to be made. There's an argument to be made. Now, why do I say this? Well, if we jump on over to the good old bitty witty chart, right? Jump out here to the 4 hour. It's real simple. Bitcoin. Jump out to the daily, actually. Bitcoin out here on the daily has come up. We made an all-time high, right? 124.5. We came all the way down to the beginning of September. We pumped back up, and guess what? We made a lower high. We made a lower high. Lower highs means down low we go, right? The market structure is still to the downside. So if we do not hold some critical areas of support, Bitcoin could be heading lower. If we start falling below this 107, 105 to 102 is on deck real hard. And you guys know that if we drop below this yearly VWAP, it's a game over. It's game over. Bear market's here. We're dropping like it's hot into the 90s, maybe even low 80s, right? We got some big targets to the downside. We got targets here at 96, 97. We got big targets here between 89 to $84,000. Now that, my friends, is a party. That is a big drop from where we're at right now. People are going to lose their minds if they see Bitcoin dropping below $100,000. Start closing some dailies, some weeklies down there, and the market, your altcoins, are going to melt into oblivion. They're gone. They're going to zero, right? Not financial advice, just what I'm letting you know. A lot of altcoins, no matter how great they seem today, no matter how, they're the best altcoin ever, they're never going to go to zero. They have the best use case ever, yada, yada, yada. Let me tell you, when the moment comes and Bitcoin says, wrap it up, boys, game is over, those altcoins go down real quick. Real quick. So, guys, one last time, make sure you're smashing those likes. We only got 42 likes here so far. That's pitiful. We can do a whole lot better than 42 likes. Let's tap those screens. Let's get those likes going, and let's get the show rocking and rolling. If we don't get some likes here real soon, I'm just turning off the stream. I'm just going to assume you guys have it all figured out. You guys have all the game planning you need. You guys don't need to read any charts because you're TA masters yourself. You don't need the crypto citadel, and you don't need me coming here and wasting my breath for the next hour and a half to try to inform you guys. So If I don't see any likes, that's what I'm understanding from you guys. I don't need this guy telling me what's happening in the market. I know exactly what's happening already. I already have a game plan. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what I perceive, guys, and it hurts my feelings. All right, let's jump here into the chat. Jose, que bolón, tiburón says, went all in on XRP long, entry $3.10, liquidation $2.51. What should I do? Buckle up. Buckle up, my friend, because that's going to be a bumpy ride, let me tell you. So let's go take a look at the XRP chart here. All right, let's go take a look at the XRP chart. All right. It's looking a lot better than I thought, to be honest. So right here, real quick, Bitcoin, XRP, the best, greatest asset in the world, is going to flip the switch and take over the SWIFT system, has done nothing, right? Even with its fake ETF running around now. That's what they're calling it, not me. I thought it was a real ETF. They're telling me that it's a fake ETF. So, okay, that's why it's not pumping, because it's a fake ETF. Don't know why, but okay. So, XRP dumped along with Bitcoin, along with all the altcoins, completely understandable, right? And it came all the way down here, hit our previous month low of $2.72, swept the low right here, and has pumped back up above this heart line, trying to get back above 87. So for your liquidation was what, 251? You actually might be in a good spot, brother. You might actually be in a good spot for your XRP long. Obviously, your entry sucks. You were up here. You were going long up here at the high, like literally at the high, right? If you were in the Citadel, you probably would have seen that, hey, we got a big downtrend here. This is not the place to be longing. We're hitting the value area high of the previous month range. We're hitting the upper band of the uptrend. Market structure change has to break above 338 to really make a big difference. And yeah, nah bueno. So you had a terrible entry. It happens. It's okay. This is what happens when sometimes you blindly react to the market. Everybody starts to get bullish. Everything starts to seem to like going higher, higher, higher. ETF news, all this crap. And, it doesn't play out. So that's a learning lesson for your entries to not do that. Another learning lesson, be in the crypto Citadel. You would have saved yourself a bit of a scare there. But so far, I don't think you're going to get liquidated. You're down at 251. We have the yearly VWAP in a gold pocket all the way down at 252, right? So this gold pocket here is still solid. We still haven't hit it. We still haven't gone to the yearly VWAP. We swept to the previous month low. We got back above the the monthly open. And yeah, that was a very good drop and push back up here, showing some strong showing some good strength here out of XRP sweeping this low. So actually, your entry sucks, and it might take you a while to get back into profit, right? You're at 286. You got to get back above 310 to start making some profit. So you might want a dollar cost average a little bit. It really hyper depends on how much leverage you're using. If you're using very high leverage, you might be in trouble. It might not be worth dollar cost averaging, but if you're using low leverage, you could definitely dollar cost average into that trade and, ride this bad boy back up and bring your average down. It will also bring your average down, pushes your liquidation point even further away, giving you a little bit more cushion from liquidity. But it all depends on how much capital you throw in. If you threw in like 2-3K at 310 and you're using 10x or more or something like that, I don't know. I need to do the math on that. You might have been liquidated already if that were the truth. But long story short is it depends how much of capital you put in. It depends how much leverage you're on that trade, whether you can survive this trade. But this is a very strong sweep of the lows and back up, which is very good. So you have a good chance of surviving this. You have a good chance of surviving this. I appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, guys. If you want the full detailed game plan of what I expect to see happening here in the next week or two, entering October, we're about to close the month of September and quarter 3. Massive quarterly close and monthly close. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the likes. So major data is coming out here next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday of this week. The Wednesday following is October 1st already. So prepare yourselves. This is critical time. This is a critical game planning time. This is exactly what we did for like 2.5 hours this morning in the Crypto Citadel, just game planning on our strategies for what we expect to see moving forward, where the line in the sand is, where like, hey, if we lose this, it's kind of game over. We gotta shift, we gotta pivot, jump into some shorts, look for some lower levels down below kind of scenarios. So, but I still think we get one last move to the upside. There's still an argument to be made that we get another move to the upside, and it's just a matter of time. So let me jump back here into the chat. Let's read some more chat here, answer some more questions. Could you tell us about ETH and its heading? Oh, man, doesn't everybody want to know where ETH is going? What's going on, brother? Good to see you, Anthony. Thank you. Jose say, thanks for the great analysis. No problem, Jose. Hope that long works out for you, brother. But I really hope you join the Crypto Citadel so you can manage those swing trades a lot better and get some better entries, man. So, yeah. Now's the time. There's only 8 spots left in the Crypto Citadel, guys. Only 8 spots left, and then you're gonna hate yourself after that. How long do you think we will hang out at these prices? Foregone, I think for the next 2 weeks could be possible, right? Next 2 weeks or so, we could hang out around these lows. Right now, the big trend is Bitcoin pumps as a new month begins, and halfway through that month, Bitcoin starts to top out, and then we start to slowly dive down. The September's drops has been a little bit more aggressive here in the last day. But at the last week to week and a half of the month, of whatever current month we're in, Bitcoin starts to dumps the altcoins, and then the next month starts, Bitcoin bottoms out early in that month, first couple of days, first week or so, and then it starts to take off again. That's the trend that's been happening for the last couple of months, and that trend is continuing to play out here right now. I was expecting that trend to break. I was expecting like, hey, like this is a very noticeable pattern already. We pump into halfway into the month, dump on the last week and a half, and then we pump again the next 2 weeks or so into the next month. So I really did think we were going to break that pattern. If we jump on over here, we can see here, right? September is still up 4%. We're still in the green. We were up a lot more than that. We were up like 9%. So we've had a nice little haircut so far entering this last week. And we could drop lower. There's the argument that we could still drop lower. That is still a possibility for September. And then, bottom out early October again, make a new higher low. And, meanwhile, we stay above 107 and make a higher low. We're good. We start breaking below 107, buckle up. So another thing to point out here is this. 2023, quarter 1, very bullish. Quarter 2, kind of flat, just semi-bullish. Quarter 3, negative 11%. Quarter 4, boom, up 56%. 2024, quarter 1, massively in the green, like 2023. Quarter 2, negative 11%, like the third quarter of 2023. Quarter 3 goes flat, 0.96%, a little bit way worse than the 7%, but nonetheless, a flat month, not a big move of any kind. Fourth quarter, massively in the green. What happens now? Look at this. Quarter 1 of 2025, down 11% again. We've seen 11% 3 years in a row now. 11, 11, 11. Every quarter, every year, moving that up 1 quarter, right? Quarter 2, up 29%. A good green month, the most green quarter we've had so far in 2025. Quarter 3, that is looking like that flat month, right? That 0.96, that 7%. It's that flat month. And then guess what? We get one more big quarter, quarter 4, which is what leads me to believe, which what we've been game planning the Crypto Citadel, is one big move at the end of quarter 4. The question is, when would the top be in quarter 4? Is it going to be December? That's what probably most people think. Is it going to be late November? Or is it going to be October? Is October going to be the one last big move to the upside, and then it's game over? Most people are probably going to think that if we do rally in October and we hit 130, that, hey, we're going higher, and we might go higher. But I'm leaning to the side that if we hit all-time highs in October, it might be a wrap. It might be a wrap. I might be saying a little bit too much. I might be saying a little bit too much already. Might be saying a little bit too much. Gotta reel it in here. Can't give you guys all the secrets. What do you think the reason for the dip is? Just regular market pullback? Yeah, man, it's just a regular market pullback. I've explained, right? The last couple of months, we rally at the beginning of the month. Once we start coming towards the end of the month, we're about to close out, we start dumping, potentially making some new lows or sweeping some lows. And then everybody gets very bearish. And then the beginning of the next month, we bottom out and we rally again. That's been the trend for the last couple of months. So that's what's happening here. Just a liquidity event. Are we going lower? B-Bob, brother, good to see you. It's been a while, B-Bob. It has been a minute, bro. Good to see you, B-Bob. Good to see you. So, is it going lower? The possibility definitely exists that we can go lower. Definitely exists that we can go lower, B-Bob. Now, we do have some critical areas. Critical areas that we need to hold. 107 is a big area. There's other areas above that that we need to hold as well that will give us better confidence that we're going to go higher faster. Now, we lose those higher levels and we come down to 107 and 107 doesn't hold, we are in trouble. Right below that, all we have is some targets at 105 down to the yearly VWAP of 102. We lose that and it's over. It's over. Down to 80K we go. Kind of scenario, right? So be very, very ready here. Hey, stop barking. So be ready. Big moves are coming, whether they're to the upside or to the downside. You better have a game plan. You better not be jumping on live streams and depending on content creators to tell you when the exact top is, right? Because me personally, what do? I jump into the crypto citadel. I'm with the boys, right? I'm over there in the battlefield, over there analyzing the charts, game planning, taking trades, making moves happen in there. And when I'm done, then I come live. Then I tell you it's the aftermath, right? I'm giving you the recap, right? You're not getting the live data. You're not going to be able to proceed and be able to go. And if you missed the live, you're probably never going to see the video again. You're definitely not going to catch it. Let's go, baby. Look at that rocket. Let's go. Like that helmet. So yeah, if you're not in the crypto citadel, you're definitely getting outdated information, right? It's outdated in the fact that it's not actionable in the moment. But if you're in the crypto citadel, you're getting the most actionable data possible in the moment. So this is it. This is the moment of game plan. This is going to be the make it or break it. Most people right now in this next 30 to 60 days are either going to take major profits and walk away with a fat bag, or they're going to be left holding the bag and go straight into the negative and probably never recover. That's what's going to be happening here in the next 30 to 60 days. And it's all going to depend on you. What are you doing? Are you game planning for that moment? What is your game plan? What are your tasks of action, right? Where are you taking profits? Where are you cutting where's your line in the sand and saying, hey, if we go lower than this, I'm out. Like I'm cutting my loss. I'm taking whatever profits I can and it's out and I'm out of here, right? If you don't have those, if you don't have that emotional confluence, you don't have that intelligent like game plan set in stone and ready to act on it, you're just going to be hoping to jump on a live stream and get your answers, right? Everyone's going to be saying something different. Either everybody's going to be FOMOing or everybody's going to be panicking, and you're not going to know what to do. And by the time you take action, it will most likely be way too late. New here, is it too late to start? Too late to start what, John Torres? Too late to start what? Be more specific. I am more than happy to help you here. Let's see here. But big news coming out tomorrow on Bitcoin, right? Yeah, B-Bob. Last time we talked, you had the inside scoop, my man. But yes, Dennis Porter made that tweet about some major announcement being done. Dennis Porter, if you guys don't know who that is, he's the guy that pretty much runs Satoshi Action, co-founder and CEO, which if you guys don't know what Satoshi Action is, it is a foundation, a company, or whatever that is basically working with the Congress to be able to pass proper legislation for Bitcoin to get Bitcoin reserves implemented. Mostly was in the state level, right, at different state levels. Now, obviously, they've been working on the Federal Reserve for Bitcoin. And I think it has something to do with that. I think it has something to do with the Federal Reserve, right? Not the Federal Reserve, but the Federal Bitcoin Reserve, that if they're going to do, right, this big strategic reserve that we've talked about, we've mentioned in the past year or so, I think it has something to do with that. But I don't think it's going to be like, hey, the government's buying. Hey, we just hit the buy button, send it, right? I don't think it's going to be like that. I just going to think it's going to be big news for regulation purposes, and it could be bullish. Maybe we see a little push up or so from it, but realistically, you know, I hope it pumps. I hope it's the catalyst event that we need for it to pump into the moon. But I just don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be good news, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to push the price. Let's see here. Can I long Bitcoin at 112.7? You can long it at any point in time. Nobody's going to stop you. No exchange is going to say, no, we're not opening longs right now. You can open longs whenever you want. We've had one of the biggest liquidation events in the year. If you look right here, real quick. Let's see here. Where is it? The largest Bitcoin and crypto liquidation event of the year just happened. That was earlier today. That was, well, during the Asia trading session, Asia London trading session. Boom. Major liquidation event. Look at this compared to everything else the rest of this year. Massive. Now, can you long? Yes, absolutely, you can. Are you going to survive that long? That's up to you, man. Depends on how much margin you're putting. It depends on how much leverage you're putting. If you're going high leverage, you're going to get wrecked. If you go low leverage, there's a chance you might survive. If this is the bottom, if this is the new higher low, then you should be okay. But if it's not, and you don't have a game plan, and you're using high leverage, and we drop down to 107 or 105, you're probably going to get wrecked. Investing short or long term. John, so is it too late to start investing short or long term? I would say yes. I've had a few people reach out to me. Oh man, should I be getting in now? Now's not the time to be getting in. Right now is the end game. Right now it's for the people that have been in the market since 2023 and above, right? And have been accumulating throughout these dips. Maybe you were buying in Q1 of this year when altcoins were down 80+%. And you caught a few good altcoins that are in the profit now. Now is for all these people to start game planning, whether they're going to be exit liquidity or they're going to be the ones taking profits. That is what's going to be happening here in the short term. Now, in the long term, in the very long term, yes, you can buy Bitcoin now at 112. Maybe it drops down to 80 in the next 6 months. And when it does, you know, you can dollar cost average again. And yes, in the next 5 to 10 years, it'll probably be at 500K and you'll be in the profit and it'll be all good. But in the short term, it's the end game right now. It's the end game for people that have been dollar cost averaging. It's the end game for people that are overly bullish and going into major longs. And, you know, the top is near, my friends. The top is near. No leverage, it's 10x. Oh, no high leverage, it's 10x. I was about to say, bro, you're saying no leverage and it's 10x? That is leverage. Okay, so no high leverage, 10x. 10x is okay for Bitcoin if you're talking about Bitcoin. If you're talking about anything else, it's definitely very high, especially any altcoin outside of Ethereum is a very high leverage 10x. So yeah, 10x for Bitcoin is pretty decent, pretty low on the on the lower side. Could it be lower? Absolutely, but I'm assuming you're trading with low amounts of capital. That's why you need the leverage. So it's perfectly fine. 10x. Yes, it's survivable. You can survive a Bitcoin long at 10x, but you need to have capital on the side because you have to be willing to dollar cost average. We could drop down to 107 and you're at 112, right? You're going to have to be able to dollar cost average a few $100 to bring that leverage down to probably push your liquidation point a little bit away. But at some point, if we lose critical support areas that we're talking about in the crypto citadel, if we lose those areas, you need to be able to cut your loss and be like, okay, that's it. Like, the chances of this coming back up are very slim to none at this point, and you have to shift on over and you have to be able to stomach the loss, right? So that's all investing is. That's all trading is. It's risk management and being able to control how much money you're losing, not how much money you're winning. Nobody can control how much they're going to make or if they're going to make any money. You have to assume that everything you take, every trade you take, every spot bag you buy, the money you're investing is 100% loss. That's the only mentality that will allow you to survive in these markets. Because if you're investing thinking you're going to make money, I need to make money, I need to make money, I need to make money. Yes, we all want to make money. But if you're hyper dependent on making money and you can't really stomach any losses because you really need that money that you're investing, you're over leveraged. What does that mean? That means that money is probably more useful to you to pay bills, to, you know, for daily life expenses that you need it, but you're making the sacrifice and going to go into the market to try to make that money work for you. But that's not how investors work. That's not how proper investing works, right? If you're using money that you need at the end of the month and you get hit with a loss, you're going to feel it really bad. You might not recover, right? So the money that you invest should always be money that you don't need, that you are 100% okay after losing it. Not emotionally okay, because nobody likes to lose money, but financially you will be okay if you lose all that money, right? You're not going to lose your house. You're not going to lose your car. You're not going to, your family and you are not going to go hungry. You still have money to pay your bills. You still have money to pay your rent. You still have money to go buy groceries, right? So if you're in that situation, you're okay to invest. If you're not in that situation and every penny counts, if not, you won't be able to make ends meet, then you don't have enough capital to be investing, and you're definitely putting yourself at very high risk of getting hit with a big loss. No problem, John Torres. I hope to see you in the Crypto Citadel, John Torres. Make sure you're joining in there to catch all the full breakdowns, like the deep dive breakdowns of what is happening in the market, right? I had a 2-hour session with the Crypto Citadel this morning, game planning, analyzing, controlling everybody's emotions about what is happening in the market, what to expect, and how to move forward from where we are right now. Let's jump back here into the chat. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes. If you're asking about how to join the Crypto Citadel, I see a few questions about it. If you want to know, there's only 8 spots left. You got to join with the link in the profile or the link in the description, depending where you are, either description or profile, whichever one. There's a link and it will take you there. It will look something like this. And that is going to be, there's only 8 spots left for this. There's only 8 spots left for this. And there's only 8 spots left for lifetime. After that, it's over. There's no more spots. So make sure that you guys are securing your spots if this is what you want to do, if you are definitely going to be deep diving and getting ready for the end of the game here. John Torres hitting that subscribe. Let's go, brother. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe. Let's see here. PYTH, what's going on? Says, hey, dude, how you been? This is Levithian. What's going on? Levithian, you're a Crypto Citadel OG. You've been there a long time. Nice to see you online. Are we still on the bull run, or is this done till next halving? Any thoughts? Yeah. So, Levithian, it's definitely not over, but we are at critical support here. We are at critical support for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin needs to hold this area here. We could dip a little bit lower, closer to that 110 area, fill in this gold pocket or so. But we need to stay above here and start moving up higher in the next week or so. Now, the next week is going to be critical. We're coming towards the end of September. Ending of the month is usually bearish. Beginning of the next month should technically be bullish. That's been the trend for the last 4 months. So, if we can do that, if we can bottom out around here, this would be very good. If we can't and we start dropping towards, 107 or lower, we are in hypercritical condition. Right? Because below this yearly VWAP of 102, it's game over. It's game over. Right? It is game over. So we need to hold these areas here and to start moving up higher in the next week or so to start pushing towards our targets of 130 to 140 by the end of October, November-ish time. So if that doesn't happen, it is a wrap. Now you know. Now you know, Levithian. Somebody wants to cover SUI. We'll cover SUI here in just a second. How many trades do you take a week? Right now, JM, this month, we have not been doing day trades. We have not been doing day trades. We have been focusing on swing trades, preparing for this last big move in the market. So right now, we've been doing a big shift in the Crypto Citadel where we've just been managing, 4 to 5 different swing trades that we're in and dollar cost averaging into them if we need to, and holding them up to, for what we expect to see in October. Normally, August, July, June, all these other prior months, we've been day trading every single day, and we take at least 1 to 2 trades per day, Monday through Friday, right? Day trades, in, out, whether you win or lose, you walk away, right? So at least about 1 to 2 day trades per day in Monday through Friday. But we have taken a pause on that and shifted over to swing trades because of this big move that I'm expecting to see here in the next 30 to 60 days. And we're trying to catch that next big move, that next big wave for our exit plan to start getting activated. Do you think Bio Protocol is a good protocol to invest in? Look, man, Bio Protocol, right? It's in the what you call it, the decentralized science narrative. It was a very nice narrative. It was great. It was fantastic. But this is an extremely low market cap, 285. It's down 34% on the month, right? These things have moments in time where they have big moves because they're such small market caps. They're easier to move when there's a big marketing campaign, things like that. When the market overall is having altcoin season and everything's extremely bullish, but in choppy times like September has been, and even August has been choppy, right? We made all-time high, and then we freaking came all the way down to 107, all within the same 30 days, right? So during all this chop, these low market caps struggle hard, right? So unless we have a big altcoin season, I wouldn't be risking a lot of capital on Bio Protocol. It doesn't matter how great the protocol is, doesn't matter how bullish their use case is and how much partnerships they get. When the bull market is over and Bitcoin dumps for real, Bio Protocol and every other small cap altcoin will go to either zero or just never recover fully ever again. And there's lots of large caps that will probably never recover again, right? Like HBAR hasn't made new all-time highs. AVAX hasn't made new all-time highs. Chainlink hasn't made new all-time highs. HBAR, Augarand, all these ISO 2200s, all these legacy 2021 coins, which were the best of their time, have not made new all-time highs. And a lot of them probably will not make new all-time highs. And they are legacy coins that are still around, still relevant, but they're nowhere near what they were in 2021. And that's going to happen to a lot of altcoins right now that seem like the greatest ever. They probably won't even be relevant by the next cycle, but in the next 12 months, right? They just won't be. That's just the name of the game in crypto. That's why you don't get married to your crypto altcoin bags. You take profits and you sell it, and you can create a moon bag if you want for a long-term hold just in case something crazy happens, but most likely or not, they're all going to go away. Just Mike says, stick with Bitcoin during these times. 100% agree. 100% agree. Bitcoin is the big trade that I'm in right now. I'm in a big Bitcoin swing trade. That's my biggest swing trade right now. I have a few other swing trades that are open. I have 2 other ones open on some altcoins, way smaller positions. But yeah, Bitcoin is where it's at, man. If you want some security, right, some potential understanding of where these markets are going, if you know where Bitcoin's going, you know where everything else is going. So at the end of the day, what does that tell you? Bitcoin's the main focus. Everybody's like, oh, XRP is gonna flip the switch. XRP is, ETF. It's gonna run to $500. It's gonna go to $100. It's gonna go to 10. Guess what, guys? If Bitcoin doesn't pump to 200K, XRP ain't going to no $10, bro. XRP is not going to $10. XRP ain't going to $10. XRP pumps when Bitcoin pumps. When Bitcoin dumps like it did yesterday, what did XRP do? Big old dump. Now, yes, has XRP recovered? It's had some good support sweeps? Yes. But if Bitcoin continues to dump, you think XRP is going to, I swept my lows. I'm just going to keep going up higher. Don't worry about me. I don't care what Bitcoin's doing. No. Bitcoin dumps lower, XRP is going down. It's going down. Let's see here. Let's go. Can you analyze Avantis, and in your opinion, to where could it pull back? Oh gosh, what the heck is that? That sounds like some new scammy coin. Small cap, 487 mil. Hasn't even been out for a full month yet. Yeah, this don't look too good, man. Let's see here. Let's see what the chart for this thing looks like. Yeah, big ol' nothing burger. big old pump a dump, and then now we're gonna come into the dump a dump, right? This thing has been out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 days. Ain't no nothing to analyze on this chart, guys. We got 8 candles, 8 daily candles. We got nothing to look at here. Nothing. We don't even got a full week. We barely have a full week of data. So, unfortunately, not gonna be able to. Oh! You guys are seeing some exclusive stuff here from my indicator that you're not supposed to be seeing. Like, abort! Get out of here. Yeah, some special sauce that I'm working for with my indicator in the Crypto Citadel that everyone gets. Not asking for a financial advice, my man, but I bought Bitcoin at 36K. I haven't taken any profits from it. Any thoughts? Should I keep holding till next halving or take profits or pull out investments? I just want to hear your thoughts. So great question. Great question. I understand it's not financial advice, and I'm not going to give you financial advice. At the end of the day, you decide what to do, but I do like this question a lot because it is a very, very good question. Now, you bought Bitcoin at 36K. Bitcoin is currently at 112. Were we higher earlier last month at 125? Yeah, perfect. But nobody's ever going to sell the exact top. You sell now at 112. Let's assume you bought a full Bitcoin, right? Just an assumption. Maybe it's not, but just an assumption. You're just to do some easy math, right? Let's bring out the calculator, right? So we can show proof of work here. So you bought a full Bitcoin. That's an assumption at 36K. Currently, we're sitting at 112. Let's round down to 112, right? Rounding down here. We're at 112,000. Oops. Coño. Hold on. Give me a second here. 112. There we go. We're at 112. Subtract your 36K that you initially bought at, right? You pretty much got $76,000 of profit sitting there, right? Assuming you bought at 36K, went up there, bing, bam, boom. You take out your entry, you're at 76K in profit. Now the question becomes, do I need this 70K right now? Is this 70K going to change my life? Do I have 30, 40, $50,000 worth of credit cards that I'm struggling to pay off and I don't see any end to, right? That 70K could finish off all those credit cards and, you know, wipe out my debt, and I can be financial. You can argue that you'll be financially free because you would be clearing out all your debt. You will not owe money to anything, right? On these bad credit card debts that are 25 to 30% APRs, which will, you know, destroy you. So if that's your case, right, that wouldn't be a terrible idea to take that 76K, pay your taxes and pay your debts, and, you know, put yourself in a way better situation financially than the next altcoin season, the next bull market, whatever, the next Bitcoin bottom. You can reinvest again and catch another big move and, you know, continue to generate money that way. That's a fantastic trade, right? You risked $36,000 and you made $76,000. It took over a year, probably potentially like 2 years, but nonetheless, fantastic trade, right? To make that much money in 2 years, that's a full-time yearly salary. Now, it might have taken you 2 years, but you weren't doing anything. Your money was working for you. So think about that. Your money was working for you and made somebody else's full-time salary while you were sleeping. So, is it fantastic? Yes. Now, if you don't need the money, you're like, I don't really have any debts, or I got all my 9 to 5 generates me enough money that, and I have low expenses that I can cover whatever debts I need. I don't need to buy a house right now. I don't need a new car. I don't need anything. I'm just in the game to accumulate assets. I just want more assets. I want to continue to invest. I want to, you know, invest for my retirement. I'm trying to push up my 401k. I'm trying to push up my assets so that when I retire, I got $1 million+ sitting there. I got a nice nest egg when I retire in the next 30, 40 years, right? If that's your game plan, then if that's what you're looking for, then maybe you don't need to take profits. But if you don't take profits, you also have to be willing to stomach Bitcoin dropping down to 80K, maybe 70K, you know, wherever the next bottom is, which we can cover in a different video. different time, whatever that bottom is, and you need to have that bankroll that if you do write it down, you're going to have bankroll coming in to be able to buy some more at those lows. If you're saying, I put everything I've got at 36K. If it drops down to 50, I can't buy more because all my money's locked up there. I don't have that bankroll coming in. Then you might have to, you should probably potentially take some profits. Wait for the next big bottom. You might have another top before, right? It's okay to miss out. Wait for the next big bottom and then get back in, right? You have to strategically game plan, leave some money on the side for the taxes, yada, yada. But if you're just looking to stack up for retirement and you have that bankroll that's going to come in, that's going to allow you to continue bankrolling and it's going to allow you to continue growing your assets, and you don't have any debts, you don't have any big payments that you need to do of any kind, you don't really need the money right now, you're just kind of wanting to park your money somewhere to continue to allow it to work for you and grow for you, you don't really have to worry about it. My personal opinion, right? I wouldn't worry about it. I would just leave my money there, right? That I would just continue growing. There's a percentage of my portfolio that is in Bitcoin that I don't plan on selling. It's just going to stay there, and I'll write it down. That's perfectly fine. And I will dollar cost average with my altcoin profits when those bottoms come, right? This is why I'm so hyper focused on not finding the absolute top, but finding where the bear market kind of starts to begin, where the line in the sand is crossed, and we're like, okay, we're heading into big bearish territory. It's time to pull all my capital from altcoins and all these other lower cap assets, reaccumulate that, whether I got losses, wins, whatever, more wins than losses, hopefully. I pull out, I wait for that big Bitcoin dip, and then I use my profits to dollar cost average. I also do the same with my trading profits. I have a trading portfolio where I trade, and the profits that I make at the end of the month, I pool. I don't continue trading with them, and I just have them sitting there. Obviously for tax purposes, to pay taxes as well, but to also be able to buy the big dips, the big crashes, not the 10%, 5% pullbacks that we're getting right now, but the big drops, right, down to 80K or so, stuff like that. So yeah. All in black, buy Bitcoin at 80, bro. Start to DCI 90, 100%, man. I'll definitely be doing that. That's my thing. I don't need the money, but at the same time, I don't want to lose the chance to get that free money. Yeah, man. It's all comes down to how you feel, right? What is gonna let you sleep at night? If you know that watching your asset go from 112, you're at 76K profit right now, dropping down to, not break even, but I don't think we're gonna see a 36K Bitcoin. But if you can't stomach that coming back down lower for an extended period of time before coming back up, then take the profits. Whatever's going to help you sleep at night. But like I said, never financial advice. That's just what I would be doing. That's just the way I look at it, how I think about it. XRP is a wild card. FinCEN reversal, please. Oh, Filecoin reversal, please. I'm sure there's a lot of altcoin people wanting some reversals. Filecoin reversal, what is the bottom? Oh, you're trying to see what the bottom is. Okay, let's go take a look at Filecoin here. I don't know what people's obsession with Filecoin. I don't like this coin at all. Never been interested in it. I know it's had some big moves, but it just doesn't do it for me. So Filecoin here has spent the entire year below the yearly VWAP, making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We're currently sitting at $2.24. We need a market structure break here. We need to get above 276. We ideally want to get above this yearly VWAP of 311 to start pushing up higher to hit some of these potential targets to the upside, they seem pretty generous right now. I don't really think we're going to see all those type of highs for this thing, as I said before. A lot of legacy coins like Filecoin from back in 2021 are not going to be making new all-time highs. They're not really going to be relevant. They're not really going to be able to make it all the way back. So I'd be happy if this thing got to the yearly VWAP and hit 382. It's currently at 224. It hasn't been able to do anything of any sort at all year long. So right now, if we continue to drop here, Our next support zone is $2.14. Below that is $1.95. That's the low from the previous quarter. That's our current biggest low, right? We lose that and we're going real low. So far, meanwhile, we stay above 214. We should be decently okay for a potential recovery between 247 to 276. We really want to see Filecoin get above the yearly VWAP, which is at 311, to start seeing some big moves to the upside. My man, thank you for your thoughts. Always nice to see you online. Heard your great point of view in crypto. Whoever is not following this man in his Citadel is crazy. His trades are amazing. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Don't waste your time looking for YouTube videos when everything can be found in the Citadel channel. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Crypto Citadel definitely has a lot of data, right? It's not hopium. It's not videos like telling you what you want to hear. It's just telling you facts. It's just telling you data. Like, hey, this looks good. This looks bad. This happens, bad. This happens, good, right? And it's not giving you like, oh yeah, you buy altcoins, buy the dip. You're never gonna see you're never gonna see me saying in there, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Altcoin season here. Altcoin season here. You see that in the videos because the videos is, you know, the hooks to catch the video, to catch the attention of the viewers. But the Crypto Citadel is just data, just charts and more charts. I'll give you a quick little glimpse here of what we do in the Citadel. All right, quick little glimpse here, right? Just charts, just data, right? Just data, macro charts, right? Macro data. What are we doing? Analysis. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Tell me what's happening here, right? Just data, analyzing charts, looking for targets, things like that, right? Obviously, we have live sessions. We do a lot of things. You know, people taking profits, making trades. Look at this. We got some savages here in the Crypto Citadel, making trades, making profits, right? That's what the Crypto Citadel is about. It's not about feeding your ego. It's not about making you feel good. It's just about covering facts. Let's go take a look at Sui. Sui! Here we go. I got to do it. I got to do it every time. It's just my thing. All right, so Sui, once again, we've come down here to as low as $3.24. We hit the monthly open. We swept that. We jumped back up. We didn't sweep the low of 310, which I would have liked to have seen. We're trying to get above the yearly VWAP. We're currently below it. So if we do head lower, we can still head down to 304, even as low as 292. We start losing 292, and we could be in trouble here for Sui. But meanwhile, we stay within this region, staying above, you know, the monthly open, the previous month low kind of area. We're still making a higher low from this low. And, you know, to the upside, if we can reclaim this yearly VWAP, our main targets to the upside, you know, on the short term is 397 to 429. That's been big resistance. This 429 has been big resistance all quarter long. So once we can get above 429, we know our untapped target is 481. Right now, we're just focused on finding support for Sui. So getting above this this yearly VWAP is extremely important. Spending some time under, like we did here on the low of August, right, beginning to bottom out in September, was fantastic for hitting a new low and pumping back up. If we lose that low and start making a lower low, we could be in trouble. We could be in trouble for Sui, right? So right now, nothing to be highly concerned about until we start losing 304 or something like that on the daily and closing below it. Bitcoin pulling back here, going to that 112,400, 112.25. Definitely don't want to see us dropping too much lower than 110,500. Let's see here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Convert to stable and use DeFi for recurring interest. Can you talk about this? Yes, guys. So there is a whole thing about decentralized finance, right? You can convert your altcoin bags into stable coins, which I do too. I keep it in altcoins. I keep the majority in altcoins. I only pull out what I need to pay bills and to pay taxes. yada, yada, yada. And then by doing that, you keep some stable coins, and you can use stable coins to provide liquidity in some of these liquidity pools, and that can create recurring revenue for you. But there is a science, there is a formula to be able to do it correctly, because there is a thing called impermanent loss in the liquidity pools that you're not aware of. You think, oh, there's no way I lose money, but there is ways you can lose money on the liquidity pools, and it's called impermanent loss. There's a whole research under. I'm not going to do a deep dive on it. I used to do a lot of DeFi stuff. Last year, I kind of started the Crypto Citadel based off just DeFi and just like liquidity pools at first when I very first started it. And then I kind of moved away from it because there just wasn't enough interest from people. But there is a whole, you can't treat it like a whole business, but there is a science to it. There is a formula. You can't just go into any liquidity pool on any chain. There's different levels of risk, just like there's different levels of risk trading. And it's just a slower way to create recurring revenue. It's slower, a little bit, I wouldn't say riskier, but there is a learning curve. There is a learning curve. You're going to have to learn how to move a lot of things between different blockchains, different networks. You're going to have to learn how to swap on all these different dexes, on how to bridge from one network to the next network. There's a lot of technicality, and you have to be very comfortable using the blockchain and swapping through the blockchains to be proficient in DeFi. Pata says, I made good cash on that as well. Yeah, you were in there from the very beginning, man. You got in there from the very beginning with the liquidity pools. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, guys. We will see ETH at 3,800 in this fall. Yes, 3,800 is definitely on the cards, guys. Why is 3,800 on the card? Well, 3,900 more likely. We could sweep into 3,800, but we're currently falling out of the previous month range. We do have a gold pocket in the quarterly VWAP down at 39.12. So that is the next big area of interest for me in Ethereum. If that area is lost, value area low for the developing quarter is down at 3,600. I've said too much already. You got to be in the Crypto Citadel to get all the exclusives, guys. You got to be in the Crypto Citadel to get all the exclusives. I've said too much already. Wizard Hack says, event is going to billions. I feel like this is a marketing campaign. There's a lot of people talking about this right now in the chat that came out of nowhere. I've never even heard of this coin until today. It's only been out for like 8 days. It's not going to go to billions if Bitcoin dumps. I can tell you that. It's not going to go to billions if Bitcoin says, see you later, alligator, bull market's over. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. It is not going to go to billions if Bitcoin does that. Where Bitcoin goes, the altcoins follows, guys. Like always, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader. There's only 8 spots left in the Crypto Citadel for the 99 monthly subscription. Make sure you secure your spots and your game plan here for the next 60 to 30 days to make sure you capture these last critical moments in this market. If not, you're going to regret it. So make sure you get in there, secure your spots. Links in the profile, in the bio, in the description, wherever you can find it. That's where it is. Sign up while you still can, because there will be no next time. There's only 8 spots left. I'm Blockchain Crusader, Crusading through these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.